Welcome back to the second session, quarterfinal round of the Clark Pump and Shop 2025 Girls Sweet 16. Winners of this evening's first game, the Danville Christian Warriors, head coach Billy Inman, student athletes Arlea Quisenberry, Grace Myers, Grace Bugwa, and Amari Blackford. Coach, comments, please.
I don't think I have any. Praise God. That was unbelievable. I told them, I hope they remember this forever. But at halftime, we showed no heart. In the first half, we just showed nothing. It wasn't us. And I really challenged them. And then I got on my knees and we just prayed, God, please give us the strength and the courage, because that was a heck of a team we were playing. And I told them, don't ever forget this as long as you live. When things aren't going right, you turn to the Lord, don't turn to anything else, and he will give you strength to make it through one way or the other. And he did that. Praise God for it.
Questions, just raise your hand right here in front.
Billy, you stayed on the bench there at halftime and kind of walked through things there. And I overhear a little bit of it, but you talked a lot about the physicality and not really being real physical in the first. I mean, kind of just some of what you said there. And obviously you saw how they responded.
Yeah, well, I've always said this, give me character every time, because kids with high character just will rise to whatever bar you set in front of them. And that's what they did. That's what they always have done. And yeah, we never go in at halftime. We had a allergy incident a year and a half ago and had a girl in the hospital from some clean solution. We never go back in since. So, yeah, that's what it was. I told them, I give hats off to the other team, man. They were physical. They brought it and we didn't. And it showed, I think, turnovers at halftime. I think it was like 15 turnovers at halftime, maybe, if I'm right about that. And, that just comes down to guts and matching that. And I challenged them and they just came up and they grabbed the bar and they took it. Praise God.
Yeah, for Grace Meyer. When Coach talks about he challenged you all at halftime, can you give us a little definition and example of what his challenge is kind of like, maybe a little more elaborate than what he put it right there?
He was getting on us pretty hard. We didn't come out intense and we were struggling to figure out things together. But I feel like once we figured it out, we talked it out as a team, and then we went out on the floor and tried our best to just glorify God, and we just gave him the game.
You got to remember, I've had her since the 4th grade. So she's more than used to the challenges. Yeah.
Amari, I thought you played really big in the second half. I know, Grace stuffs the stat sheet, but you're the other big coming out there and 4 rebounds, a lot of contests. Just how did you kind of take, I know you got pulled out there at the end of the first half too. How did you kind of take that?
Just really just being strong and being physical and giving it my all and praising God and just leaving it all on the floor.
Right there.
Grace, I heard him talk about you all not being aggressive enough and needing to get that aggression and be the aggressors in the second half. How were you guys able to flip that switch from making the sorts of mistakes that were going on to being more physical and picking it up in the second half?
I think our main thing this year is being Joshua as a character in the Bible, and he talks about being strong and courageous. So I think just coming in stronger and bolder and stepping up to the challenge that the other team gives us. And obviously the first half we were playing scared and we weren't matching their physicality, but coach reminded us that, hey, we're here to glorify God and we gotta play strong because it's big girl basketball now. So I think just being stronger.
Coach, how does that turnaround measure up against some of the others maybe you've seen the way they reversed that?
Well, when we were still in the Christian League, we were in a state quarterfinals and we were down by 16 with 6 minutes to go in the game and we came back. That's the most incredible comeback I've ever been a part of. But I think this one will always stand out to me because of what y'all described, the switch being flipped, because it's really hard to do that. And I'll be honest with you, I'm as shocked as anybody that they were able to flip it the way that, I mean, that's, if we were playing some sort of a mediocre team, I wouldn't be so astonished. We were playing a perennial, great program. They've been here 7 years in a row. They don't get rattled. They rattle other people. They're strong. They know everything to do. And I mean, for that part of it, it'll go down as one of the best I've ever been a part of. And the most special, I think, because I think that the lesson that they learned, look, guys, you're going to turn to the world. It's not going to be there for you. Turn to God. And they really were doing that. They were sincere in doing that. And they was like, we need to pray again. I was like, all right, let's do it. And so that's what made it. So it'll be one of my favorite games ever that I've ever coached.
Coach, what was the difficulty getting the ball inside to Grace? And what do you have in that cup at the end of the table? Holy water?
Oh, yeah. If I could get some, I would. No, just plain old water. I'm so fat and out of shape. I'm worried about a heart attack, so I keep hydrated. As you can see, I sweat just staring. So, that my wife had that idea a couple years ago. You need to hydrate better, or I'm going to lose you. So that's why I drink so much. Is literally because I'm scared of having a heart attack. But what was the other part of the question, Cameron? I don't know. I'd love to tell you, like some of these guys, oh, this. I got to watch some film because I really don't know. Maybe Alea. Maybe you can testify that why you thought so hard.
Being a short guard, trying to get it over taller people, really.
Final question right here.
Billy, could you walk us through your timeout strategy there in the fourth? Could you kind of called right there to get Alea back in, I think, and then you kind of I know you had a bunch of them, so you kind of staggered them.
Yeah.
Talk to your girls after they got a lead, and you kind of all that kind of stuff.
Well, like I said, coaching is not my profession. It's just a volunteer. So I'll be honest with you. A lot of times I go by just feel of the game. And there was one that I called timeout. We got up by 3, and I felt like we needed just to stop and let them simmer on the fact that we're up by 3 now, the other team and our team, to kind of reset where we were in the game. Because a lot of times when you're part of a comeback like that, you can actually take it too far on the defensive end and foul where you don't need to, because you still feel like you're behind. And so that one was, I didn't want to burn that, but I felt like I really needed to. And then I really probably wished I had that one back that I called timeout because I was afraid they were going to get a turnover, a tie up on the other. But really it's just a feel. But the one I did just to change the mindset, to say, hey, you're not behind anymore. And for the other team to realize, hey, we are behind now, just to try and get them in the right frame of mind so they're a little bit more bolder.
Coach, we'll end it on that note. Congratulations, ladies, on the victory. We'll see you tomorrow in the semis.
Praise God.
Thank you all.
Rashad Chancellor, Brooklyn Gibson, and Natalia Green. Yes. Yes.
We now have the Henderson County Lady Colonels, head coach Stephen Hale, student athletes Natalia Green, Brooklyn Gibson, and Rashia Chancellor. Coach, comments on the game.
I thought the first half went, just how we wanted it to. We looked at the stats at halftime. They had 2 offensive rebounds. We turned them over 14 times. We scored the ball well. We had 9 assists to 2 turnovers. We were passing the ball really well. So kind of talked at halftime. We needed more of the same. And, they kind of up to their pressure there on our guards the second half and really created some turnovers in the half court. We took some shots that didn't fall. We hit a couple threes late. But besides that, I think before that we'd only had 1-3 all game. We talked about hitting 5 or 6 before the game would have been big. Would have been big for us. And kudos to them. They really got out on our shooters well, and forced us into some backdoor action. And Grace came up with some big blocks there for them when they went on their run. Heck of a player. I listened to Coach Beth talk yesterday after our game, and he made a good point that you come up here. There's 16 teams that want to win a state championship. Unfortunately, only one of them can, and it hurts really bad. It hurts really bad for our seniors and this team. We really wanted to win that game, put ourselves in a great position to do it, and unfortunately, we didn't knock enough shots down in the second half, and they made the plays they needed to make to win the basketball game.
Questions right here in the front.
What changed in the second half? You think of just, you were able to turn them over a lot in the first half, and I mean, you turned them over 7 times in the second, but that's fewer than 14.
Right. I think they did a little bit. I don't know if they made any adjustments at halftime or not, but it seemed that they made better passes. They were catching the ball a little bit better. I thought our energy was still good. Our girls were flying around, getting deflections and things like that. But there was a couple key points in there. I remember we didn't block it on the free throw line once, and then we gave them a few easy points there. And then 14 also made some really good drives into the gaps of our zone and finished there when they went on their run. So, they're a good team, and unfortunately they were just a tad better than we were today.
Coach, just Grace's size and presence for them. How big is that as far as just even something simple as throwing it in to break your press, maybe making a little hesitant about going in to take a shot? How does she impact the game, even that maybe doesn't even show up on the stat sheet?
Yeah, I mean, she can get you out of your offense. We run a lot of stuff where we're trying to drive the ball to the basket. And you really got to be wary of where she is. During that run, I think in the first half, maybe only had 1 block. In the second half, it was 3 or 4, and it led to some run outs for them on the other end. We just got sped up a little bit, I think. And, she probably had 15 plus rebounds and 30 plus points. And, we knew she was going to get hers. I think if we did a little bit better job, maybe on 14 there in her zone, and, knocked a few more shots down, the outcome still could have been different, even though she had the game that she had. So, again, kudos to her. She's a heck of a basketball player.
Final questions for Coach Hale and the Henderson County Lady Colonels.
You're no stranger to this event. Coming to this event with your dad, what can you say about those experiences that's helped get you prepared to create a dynasty of your own?
The thing that really helps is just the prep. I think, just knowing that when you get up here, what it's like, just trying to prep your girls, and this group made it really, really easy. Was lucky enough last year to take over, and then we didn't have any seniors last year, and our juniors and sophomores really stepped up to the plate and led us. And it hurts real bad for our 3 seniors this year. But I think to answer your question more than anything is just the prep for being up here, staying in the hotel, when you can have a shoot around, and getting here and all that stuff, and not letting the moment be too big.
Coach Hill, congratulations to you and the Henderson County Lady Colonels on a great season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.